Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Rakshan, Bashya, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, good to see you there. So, Raksha and Bashya, what do you see on your screen?
We see Krishna,
Radharani,
Balaram.
Okay, good. And you hear the Prabhupada Japa going on also, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for checking. So we'll wait for Malini to join and 6 o'clock to happen.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Malini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada. Thank you for joining the call. So we have a minute. We have a minute left.
Yes.
I
Are
like.
you on page 270?
Yes, please. Yeah, and I like your background. You are in the field.
Oh,
So
actually, I have to change my name also, right? I don't know how to do
yes,
it.
I will change it. I don't think participants can change it. I will change your name.
Okay, thank you. And page number 277 is what
Yes,
Ganga Mataji said, right?
yes, yes, yeah. You get to read from the good.
277.
Okay, let me rename your name. Rename you.
I may want to use my glasses. I don't know.
You want to use your glasses?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
not
Please
really.
go ahead.
I'm
We
just-
have time. Yeah, you can get your glasses. Okay. Also, Mataji, we have a meeting at
Mataji, can you
8.
hear me or do you?
Yes, I'm able to hear you right now. I'm just because we are talking, so I have the japa also playing in the background, and then once the japa goes away, then the volume will also become more automatically.
Let me see. And,
Yeah. So Mataji,
okay.
I don't know if you got we are meeting at 8:35 today.
Yes,
9 o'clock meeting moved to 8:35. Just letting you know.
yes. I
Yeah.
saw
You
that.
got that? Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah.
I saw that.
Okay. So
Use
I
my,
will put the I will stop. Yeah.
should I use my glasses? Or I don't need my glasses. I'll use it.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with. We're just going. I'm just going to focus the camera on you so that you're there, and then yeah, we can get started.
Mataji, if you need something, then if you're not able to hear or something, you will text me or
I will text you. Okay, that sounds like a good plan.
but my phone will be on mute.
Oh, I will text you.
But if you
But
text,
yeah,
I won't be
it'll
able to see.
okay. It'll go through. It'll go through. Do you want me to interrupt and tell you then?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. So it's 7 o'clock, and welcome all the devotees to this wonderful reading of Ramayana that we have been doing non-stop for so many days now. And today we have the good fortune of having Her Grace Malini Mataji read for us. So without much ado, Malini Mataji, please go ahead and tell us the Krishna Katha.
ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Continuing reading from Ramayana, we are reading from page number 277. This is Sundarakanda. I'm going to read just the last paragraph from 276 so that we can continue from there. As he entered one residence after another, Hanuman saw lovers caressing each other while other women applied sandalwood paste to their bodies. Here, someone slept there, someone laughed, while others engaged in the affairs of lovemaking. Someone was sprawled out naked, having been left aside by their husband, and someone else, decorated with flowers and ornaments, was just welcoming her lover. In this way, Hanuman observed thousands of beautiful women with moon like faces, their lotus petal eyes casting sidelong glances that beguiled the hearts of their loved ones. However, as there was no trace of Sita, Hanuman became somewhat disheartened. Hanuman decided to search throughout the palaces belonging to Ravana's relatives and consorts. From a distance, these residences appear to be like enormous clusters of monsoon clouds illuminated by streaks of lightning. After searching through many wonderfully opulent homes, Hanuman entered the palace of Ravana, which was filled with beautiful women and the sound of tinkling ornaments. Indeed, Hanuman felt as though he were being carried across the sky in a celestial chariot pulled by white swans. The interior of Ravana's palace was a ravishing paradise with wish fulfilling trees surrounded by jewel like flowers. While roaming about, Hanuman saw many pleasure rooms. Their floors were from wine and liquor. Their walls were There were rooms filled with all varieties of weapons and rooms filled with treasure. However, to Hanuman's disappointment, Sita was nowhere to be seen in her personal quarters, which alone were 12 miles wide and 8 miles long. As Hanuman wandered throughout Ravana's vast domain, he considered how to enter the apartments. Finally, he came to the room where the Pushpaka chariot was being kept. This chariot was originally built by Vishwakarma for Lord Brahma and could traverse the sky simply by following the mental indication of the driver. The Pushpaka chariot hovered above the floor and was adorned with birds made from jewels that flapped their wings mechanically, and with snakes made of silver and gold. Inside were artificial elephants with shapely trunks that showered scented water upon the curved statue of the goddess of fortune Lakshmi, who stood elegantly with a pool of water, a lotus flower in her four lovely hands. The Pushpaka chariot appeared like a large floating hill and was fitted with stairways of gold, white crystal floors, and balconies made from sapphires. To get a good look at Ravana's inner apartments, Hanuman jumped up to the Pushpaka chariot. From that vantage point, he could see a great hill with a crystal floor that was inlaid with pearls, diamonds, and gold, and covered by great carpet, having the geography of the earth with all its mountains and seas as its design. Stairways made of gems led to the upper levels, and everything was softly illuminated by golden lamps whose light reflected upon valuable jewels. Everything about this spectacular hall was gratifying to the five senses. Thus, Hanuman began to wonder, where am I? Is this heaven? This could well be the supreme realm of Lord Brahma. Upon entering the inner quarters, Hanuman saw thousands of beautiful, colorfully dressed women sprawled upon the expansive carpet. With half of the night gone, they were fast asleep under the influence of intoxicating wines and the exhaustion from their amorous revels. The women jeweled the women's jeweled bracelets, belts, and ankle bells were now silent, although sparkling, and thus appeared like lotus lakes, serene with silent swans and sleeping bees. Hanuman gazed upon the ladies who lay with eyes close to the lips tightly shut, like fragrant lotuses that close their petals upon the arrival of evening. In their stupor, the ladies' hair had become disheveled and their jewels scattered. While dancing and drinking, their ankle bracelets being misplaced, their marks of tilaka erased, and their necklaces broken. Their belts were loosened, their dresses wrinkled, and their garlands torn and trampled. They appeared like flowering creepers that had been crushed by elephants. Some of the ladies slept, using their bracelet adorned arms as pillows, while others reposed on the breasts of their co wives. Still others rested their heads upon another's lap, stomach, or buttocks. Still others, captured in love's intoxication, relaxed with their arms interclasped, embracing each other as they slept. Seeing this, Hanuman wondered, whose limbs are those? Whose garlands? Whose clothes? Whose ornaments? Indeed, the consorts of Ravana were so intimately united in sleep that it was difficult to know who was who, but not whom they served. Under the influence of lust, innumerable daughters of kings, Brahmanas, Daityas, and Gandharvas had become the wives of Ravana. Ravana had kidnapped some of them after defeating their relatives, but all had accepted him willingly under the infatuation of desire. None were low-born, ugly, crude, or stupid, and none were neglected by Ravana, lord of Lanka. In their midst, Hanuman saw Ravana lying asleep upon the elegant silken couch placed atop a crystal dais and covered with white canopy that was decorated with flowers. Ravana was seen to have one head and two arms, for it was only in the battle that he assumed his gigantic form with 10 heads and 20 arms. Hanuman also noticed that the numerous wounds upon Ravana's body coming from such illustrious weapons as King Indra's thunderbolt, Airavata's tusk, and Lord Vishnu's chakra. Ravana's dark complexioned body was smeared with sandalwood paste. His earrings flashed like fire as he lay exhausted from the night of feasting, drinking, and erotic enjoyment. Hanuman stared at Ravana respectfully, reconciling slightly in awe of his powerful, majestic appearance. Then Hanuman again turned his attention to Ravana's consorts, who surrounded him like so many glittering stars encircling the full moon. Several were sleeping in the arms of their beloved Lord, while others caressed the musical instruments they had played earlier in the evening. Like a lotus clinging to a floating tree branch in a midstream, one slender waisted beauty embraced her veena. Another held a drum in her lap as if it were her infant child. Another fully breasted lady hugged her tambourine tightly as though it was her lover and that returned from a long absence. Lying a bit apart from the rest of the women on a lavishly decorated couch was a fair complexioned Mandodari, Ravana's favorite queen. While Hanuman saw how young, beautiful, and dignified she appeared, he thought, this must be Sita. Feeling overjoyed at his discovery, Hanuman rejoiced like a monkey by slapping his arms, jumping for joy, kissing his tail, and climbing up and down the palace pillars. However, after a moment's consideration, Hanuman concluded, this cannot be Sita, it must be someone else. Sita would not have been able to eat or sleep in separation from Ram, nor would she decorate herself nicely or accept the association of another male, even if it were the king of the heaven. Indeed, in comparison to Ram, what are these demigods? What are the demigods? What to speak of a wicked Rakshasa like Ravana? Thereafter, Hanuman continued his search, wandering from room to room throughout the rest of Ravana's palace. He saw thousands of moon faced women sleeping amidst vessels containing huge quantities of meat and wine, along with drinking glasses that were scattered about. Hanuman had to observe all these women very closely while searching for Sita and thus began to have misgivings. Hanuman thought to himself, perhaps I have violated religious principles by gazing upon the wives of others, sleeping in a state of undress. What will be my destination? However, after some consideration, Hanuman concluded, it is the motive that determines if an act is virtuous or sinful. While gazing upon these women, I have remained pure in mind, for my only concern is to find Sita. Since I am looking for a woman, where else can I search except among women? I am only doing this in the service of Lord Ram, therefore I am looking upon others' wives cannot be sinful. While Hanuman had completed his search of Ravana's palace without finding a trace of Sita, he concluded that she must no longer be alive. Hanuman became saddened at the heart. He wondered what would he tell to other monkeys who are anxiously waiting his return. However, Hanuman fought his depression by reminding himself that unwavering determination is the only cause for success. Still hoping for the best, he continued to search the places that remained uncovered. But after scouring Lanka again and again, Hanuman became completely disheartened. Although Sampati had assured him that Sita was in Lanka, Hanuman could not find her anywhere. He began to speculate about what might have happened. Perhaps Sita died out of fear while being carried to Lanka by Ravana. Perhaps she dropped her out of fear of Ram. Sita might have wriggled free and fallen into the ocean, or perhaps Ravana devoured her when she refused to become his consort. Hanuman's thoughts then turned into the disastrous results that would ensue that if he were to return to Ram and report his failure. Without Sita, Ram would give up his life, Lakshmana would follow suit. When Bharat and Shatrughna hear that Ram and Lakshmana have died, they will also end their lives. With all four sons gone, the three mothers will certainly wither away and die. Because of their failure, Sugriva, Angada, and other monkeys will give up their lives out of shame. Therefore, I must not return to Kishkindya. Either I will commit suicide or I will live out the rest of my life as a recluse. As Hanuman struggled to emerge from these gloomy thoughts, he considered, maybe I should kill Ravana or drag him back to Ram so that he can be offered as a human sacrifice to Lord Shiva. Seated upon Lanka's high defense walls, Hanuman suddenly spied a large grove of Ashoka trees on the outskirts of the town that he had not yet explored. Hanuman resolved to continue his search. He first offered his obeisances to Ram, Lakshman, and the principal demigods. Then he leapt from the defensive wall into the Ashoka grove. Hanuman roamed within the grove for some time and then climbed a tall tree to gain a better view. From the treetop, Hanuman could see a mountain stream cascading down into the nearby lotus pond. Surrounded by flowering trees, this idyllic garden seemed the perfect place for Sita. Hanuman decided to remain stationed in the treetop in the hope that Sita would come there to take her morning bath and perform her devotional duties. Gazing in other direction, Hanuman sighted a lofty temple supported by 1,000 pillars and situated within a nearby garden. In front of the temple sat a woman dressed in single dirty, worn out, fine yellow cloth. She appeared emaciated from fasting, and because of her anguish, she sighed heavily again and again. Although her face was wet with tears, displaying her anxiety and exhaustion, she nonetheless shone with divine radiance. Looking like a smoke covered fire, she was surrounded by many Rakshasis. Hanuman recognized her to be the woman he saw earlier being carried away by Ravan. Likewise, she detected that the ornaments that she wore matched the description of those given by Ram. Hanuman gazed at the woman's full moon face, her graceful eyebrows, her full breasts, her bright red lips, her slender waist, her lotus petal eyes, symmetrical limbs, and concluded that she must be Sita. Although as lovely as a goddess of love, she sat upon the ground like an ascetic practicing penances. Appearing most glorious, she suffered acute anguish, and thus appeared like a sacred text misinterpreted, like wealth squandered, like faith shattered, like frustrated, like ideals impeded, and intellect corrupted, or like fame blackened. Hanuman thought, this is a woman whom Ram loves and for whom he suffers, sometimes feeling pity, sometimes tenderness, and sometimes grief. Pity for the dear one whom he failed to protect, tenderness from the woman who is solely dependent upon him, and grief at suddenly losing his beloved wife. Sita's grace and beauty resemble that of Ram. She is certainly worth the trouble of jumping over to Lanka and killing all the Rakshasas. Indeed, if Sita were placed on the other side of the scale and the sovereignty of the three worlds on the other side, the latter would not measure even a fraction of her worth. It is painful to see how she suffers at the hands of Ravana. Still, I know that because of remaining absorbed in thoughts of Ram, she cannot perceive her external suffering. The moon rose up to help Hanuman observe Sita and the dangerous Rakshasas guarding her. Some of these Rakshasas had only one eye or ear and had ears all over her body, and another had a nose in the middle of of her forehead. Some were bald and some were drawers, some were hunchbacks, and some had lips that hung down to their chins. Some had heads that resembled boars, deers, camels, tigers, or horses. Others had only a single hand or foot. Other Rakshasis had has heads that were sunk into their bodies like kavanda, and most had meat and blood smeared over their bodies. Hanuman wept tears of joy in finding Sita. Remaining concealed atop the Ashoka tree, he watched her till her life passed away. Ravan was awakened before dawn by the by the singing of the bards who praised Lord to the accompaniment of the musical instruments. As he rose, Ravan began to think of Sita, for he was irresistibly drawn to her. Unable to suppress his sensual longing for the princess of Videha, Ravana set out for the Ashoka Grove, accompanied by 100 beautiful women carrying golden lamps, chamaras, cushions, water, and other paraphernalia. Still under the influence of the previous night's intoxication, Ravana staggered along, following by the lovely ladies who appeared to be like flashes of lightning behind a cloud. When Hanuman saw Ravana approach, he concealed himself behind a cluster of leafy bunches. When Sita saw Ravana coming, she covered her body as best as she could. Then, trembling violently, she sat down and wept. As Sita sat upon the bare ground, she swayed back and forth like a frail boat tossing up on a stormy ocean. In her wretched condition, Sita appeared to be like an understanding that had become dim, hope that had been frustrated, an order flouted, or sacred altar that had been desecrated. She was like a full moon in eclipse, an army that had been routed, or a stream dried up from drought. She was like a pond whose lotuses have been uprooted, an extinguished flame, or birds fleeing from fright. Sita's body has become emaciated and her mind depressed from her fasting and grief. Ravana came before Sita and began speaking in the hope of seducing her. O most fair and beautiful lady, why do you cover your shapely breasts and thin waist? O large eyed beauty, I am afflicted with love for you, so please give up your shyness. Favor me, my beloved, and fulfill my unbearable longing to see you. It has always been the custom of Rakshasas to carry away or rape the wives of others. However, I shall not touch you as long as you do not voluntarily agree to have me in return. O lovely goddess, why are you lying upon the bare ground? Why do you wear dirty clothes and fast for no reason? Why do you tie your hair in a single braid and constantly sit brooding? Such behavior does not suit a ravishing princess like you. Become my queen and enjoy indulgence beyond compare within the three worlds. You will have only the best garlands, sandalwood paste, perfumes, and ornaments. You shall eat the finest foods, drink the most ambrosial beverages, lie upon the most luxurious couches, and revel with music, singing, and dancing. O most lovely lady, youth quickly passes, therefore your stubbornness is folly. You have the loveliest face, fairer than the moon, and your bodily features are the perfection of an artistic workmanship. Become my beloved, and in return I shall do anything for your pleasure. If you like, I shall conquer the entire earth and present it as a gift to your father, King Janaka. Who can dare to defy me? O Sita, after seeing you, I have become so enamored that I can no longer find pleasure in any of my wives, not even Mandodari. Why do you insist upon remaining faithful to Ram, a mere human being, a straw in the street in comparison to me? I doubt whether Ram still lives. Even if he does, you may rest assured you will never see him again. Sita placed a straw between herself and Ravana as a symbol of her unwillingness to contact him directly. She gently replied, you should withdraw your mind from me and remain contented with the concerts you already possess. You will never be able to possess me, just as a simple man fails to achieve perfection. I was born in a noble family and married according to religious principles. I will never act contrary to the tenets of righteousness. There is no hope of your gaining my favor. Turning her back on Ravana, Sita continued, because you're acting perversely, directing yourself away from the path of virtue, you will become the cause of the destruction of your entire kingdom. Why not follow the example of good men who protect their wives and wives of others? The fool who is dissatisfied with his own wife and seeks pleasure with the wives of others is doomed. Why do you ignore the advice of the wise and reject that which is good? Why are you determined to cause a destruction of all the Rakshasas? Do you not know that everyone rejoices at the destruction of wicked persons? I will never be tempted by your offers of insignificant opulence and royal comforts. I am inseparable from Ram as sunlight is from the sun. The only way that you can save yourself from Ram's wrath is to voluntarily deliver me back to him. You should try to make friendship with him, for he is very merciful to those who take shelter of him. Otherwise, it will not be long before Ram and his men come here and suck your life breath with their arrows. You shall never escape Ram's vengeance, even though you may be capable of saving yourself from Indra's thunderbolt. It is only a matter of time before Ram finds you out and kills you for your wickedness. Ravana retorted, generally, the more courteously a man treats a woman, the more agreeably she responds to him. In your case, however, the opposite holds true. I should kill you for your harsh words. You are fortunate, however, because my love for you controls my anger, and my piety curbs unruly steeds. Love acts strangely, for the more a beloved mistreats her lover, the more he showers her with affection. It is for this reason alone that I do not kill you, although death and dishonor are what you deserve. Already 10 months of your 1 year grace period have passed. Thus, I shall wait for only 2 more months. Then, if you still refuse to reciprocate my love, I shall have you chopped into pieces by my cooks and served for my breakfast. Several of Ravana's consorts that had been forcibly abducted by him were also present there, and upon hearing his threats, they felt sympathetic towards Sita. As Ravana prepared to depart, they briefly comforted Sita, their compassionate words giving Sita some small reassurance. Thus, feeling encouraged, Sita again rebuked Ravana, saying, you cannot have a single well wisher within your kingdom, for one has tried to deter you from this ignoble act which is meant for your destruction. Rama is like a mighty elephant, and you are a tiny rabbit. You can speak boldly only while Rama is out of sight. I could reduce you to ashes myself by utilizing my mystic power, but I refrain from doing so because I have not received such an order from Ram. You are a fool, for it is impossible to kidnap the wife of Lord Ram. You only have been able to do so because this is a device Providence has chosen to have me as an instrumental cause of your death. Struck by the sharp words, Ravana hissed like a serpent and gazed at Sita with angry, bloodshot eyes. I will kill you this very day, Ravana bellowed. Then, addressing the Rakshasis who guarded Sita, he said, you must make Sita submit to me by any means possible, whether conciliation, gifts, or force. Ravana turned menacingly towards Sita, and it appeared that he might suddenly become violent. However, Mandodari, who had come with Ravana's youngest consort, Dhanya Malini, embraced her husband, saying, come back to your palace and enjoy with us. Forget about this pale, emaciated Sita. When a man desires to enjoy a woman who does not love him, he only suffers. However, when the woman loves him in return, he enjoys extreme delight. Ravana was dissuaded from further abusing Sita. Laughing conceitedly, he returned to his palace. The hideous Rakshasi guards then approached Sita and began to threaten her in harsh, angry voices. One Rakshasi said, you should give up your false pride before Ravan, for he is very exalted personality. You should know that one of Brahma's mentally conceived son was Pulasya, whose mentally conceived son was Rishi, whose son is Ravana. Do not hesitate to accept the king of the Rakshasas, thinking him unworthy of you. If you remain adamant, it will certainly result in your destruction. Another Rakshasi said, you are a fool for refusing to become Ravana's queen. Don't you know that his command that at his command the trees scatter flowers and the clouds release torrents of rain? The sun does not shine and the wind refuses to blow if they displease Ravana. O sweet smiling goddess, listen to her advice, or else face a horrible death. Sita, however, calmly replied, "You can devour me if you like. I shall never submit to Ravana." Finding Sita unbending, the Rakshasas picked up spears, axes, and knives, threatening Sita as they circled around her. One shouted, "You are young, soft, and tender. I shall devour your heart, liver, and spleen at this very moment if you do not submit to Ravana." Others exclaimed, "I shall eat up your rosy red cheeks. I will savor your succulent thighs. I will drink your hot blood." Then another Rakshasi interrupted. I hate, I hate squabbling. Let's chop her up and divide her into equal morsels. Order wine to be brought. Let us feast upon her flesh and dance before the goddess Bhadrakali. Sita could no longer bear their ghastly remarks and bursts into tears. Trembling violently with fear, she cried out, "O Ram, O Lakshmana." Sita lamented, "Why doesn't Ram come here to save me? Perhaps he doesn't know where I am. Maybe he has already died from feelings of separation and is now residing in heaven. Perhaps Ravana was somehow able to kill him by means of some sinister trick. Oh, when will Ram come to take me back to Ayodhya after destroying all these Rakshasas? Why am I so unfortunate that I cannot give up my life at once? If only I could die, for death would surely be better than this unbearable misery. While the Rakshasis were attempting to intimidate Sita, one elderly woman named Trijata suddenly awoke from the deep slumber. Trijata approached the other Rakshasis and prudently spoke as follows: "You wretches, how can you dare torment Sita like this? You shall never be able to devour her. I shall now tell you why. I have just had an incredibly vivid dream wherein I saw Ram come here to rescue Sita and slaying all the Rakshasas. When the Rakshasis begged her to describe her dream in detail, Trijata continued, "I saw Ram and Lakshman dressed in all white and wearing white garlands. They were soaring through the air in white celestial chariot drawn by 1,000 white horses. Then the scene changed, and I saw Ram sitting on a gigantic four-tusked elephant dressed all in white. Sita too was dressed in white and was standing upon the white mountain in the middle of the sea. When Ram came nearby, Sita mounted the elephant and became reunited with her beloved husband. After this, I saw Ram, Sita, and Lakshman flying through the air toward the north in the Pushpaka chariot. I then saw Ravana in my dream with a shaved head, his body smeared with red sandalwood paste. He was riding a chariot drawn by asses, drinking oil, and laughing as though mentally deranged. As the chariot rode off, I saw Ravana disappear into a gloomy hell filled with filthy things that emitted a foul odor. I saw Kumbhakarna and the sons of Ravana in the same way, but not Vibhishan. Vibhishan was mounted upon a four-tusked elephant covered by a white canopy and was heralded by conch shells and kettle drums. Finally, I saw the whole of Lanka crumble and fall into the sea. I have concluded that very soon Ram will come and recover Sita after slaying the Rakshasas. You must now give up tormenting Sita and beg for her forgiveness. Meanwhile, auspicious signs appeared in the irreproachable body of Sita, like servants eager to wait upon a wealthy man. Her lotus like left eye began to twitch, and her left arm gently throbbed. Sita's graceful left thigh also quivered as if Ram himself were standing before her. Noticing all this, Trijata declared, "Because of these auspicious signs, I can understand that Sita will soon receive some very good news." Hearing this, Sita became elated and said, "If all that you have described comes true, then I will make certain you are afforded all protection from the wrath of my husband." However, Sita soon lapsed into her usual hopeless mood as she gazed at the Rakshasis around her. She thought, what if Ravana kills me before Ram is able to come to save me? In this miserable situation, I cannot bear the torment. Desiring to end her life, Sita took the string behind her hair and knotted it tightly around her neck. Then she began tying the other end to the branch of an Ashoka tree. However, just at that moment, Sita again experienced many auspicious signs and her mood brightened. All the while, Hanuman had remained hidden, listening to Sita and the Rakshasas. He began considering the situation. I must go to comfort Sita, for her intelligence has become covered due to her intense grief. I must somehow allay her fears and give her hope before returning to Ram. Indeed, at any time she may decide to give up her life out of despair. Still, how can I talk with her in the midst of these Rakshasas? Never mind. Somehow I must do it. Ram will surely ask me if I have any message from Sita. If I reply that I have none, he may decide to burn me to ashes with his anger. Therefore, I think both Sita and Ram need to be consoled with news of each other. I will go to meet Sita while other guards are inattentive. If I speak to her in Sanskrit, she will surely have faith in my words. However, if I speak like a Brahmana, she may think that I am Ravana disguised as a mendicant. Perhaps if I address her in the Ayodhya dialect, she will believe me. But if she hears a monkey speaking like a human, she will think I am Ravana. How perplexing this is, especially since Ravana can assume any forms he likes. I must be very careful, for if she screams, her cries will alert the guards. If the guards see me, they will also become afraid because of my gigantic size. Thus, they will call for help of Ravana's soldiers. Then I could be taken captive. Even if I were able to defeat all the Rakshasas, I would probably be too tired to jump back to the mainland. I must consider how to approach Sita very carefully, for a thoughtless messenger can ruin even the most perfect plan. After pondering his dilemma in great detail, Hanuman firmly concluded, I will first sing Rama's praises to gain Sita's confidence, and then I shall deliver Ram's message to her. From within the branches of the great Ashoka tree, Hanuman began to recite. Descendant of Ikshvaku, King Dasharatha was his name. Righteous and heroic, he ruled Ayodhya of fame. He received four mighty sons, Rama, the loved of his heart, full of infinite potencies, Vishnu in a human part. To give Kaikeyi her boons, into exile Rama was sent, upholder of his father's vow, with Sita and Lakshmana he went. When Ram killed the Rakshasas, who filled the rishis with fear, Ravana kidnapped Sita with the help of Maricha the deer. Then his search for Sita, Ram made Sugriva a friend to search the southern quarter. I, Hanuman, did he send. After crossing many mountains, I jumped the ocean vast, and thus I have succeeded in finding you at last. Rama will come to save you, his dearly beloved wife. Now give me a little message to save your husband's life. As Hanuman fell silent, Sita began looking up to the tree to find the speaker. When she sighted Hanuman, Sita thought she must be dreaming. It is an it is inauspicious to see a monkey in dreams. She murmured to herself. Overwrought from anguish, Sita wept bitterly and then suddenly fainted. When she regained consciousness, she thought, after seeing a monkey in that nightmare, I should pray for the welfare of Ram and Lakshman. But how could I have been dreaming? In my state of anguish, being separated from Ram, I cannot sleep even for a moment. It must have been not, it must not have, sorry, it must have not a dream. It must have been not a dream, but hallucination. The monkey I saw could not have been real, for wherever I look, I see only Ram. My ears only hear Ram's voice, and I can think only of Ram and nothing else. I cannot believe the monkey was illusory, for he appeared so real. O lords Brahma, Indra, Surya, and Vayu, please let the monkey really exist and let his words of Ram bring me auspiciousness. Hanuman came down from the hiding place of the tree. Standing before Sita, he folded his hands. He inquired, "Who are you? You appear like a goddess, and I think you must be the consort of Ram." Sita was delighted to hear Ram's name, and in reply to Hanuman's question, she practically narrated the entire story of her life. In conclusion, Sita explained, Ravana has only given Ravana has given me only 2 months to live. If Ram does not come here before then, I shall give up my life. Gaining confidence, Hanuman said, I am the envoy of from Ram, and I assure you he is quite well. Rama has sent me here to locate you. He anxiously inquires about your welfare. Sita was delighted with great happiness. They continued talking to each other. However, as they became engrossed in conversation, Hanuman gradually began inching his way closer to Sita. Upon realizing this, Sita was suddenly seized with the thought that he was actually Ravana disguised as a monkey. Thus she explained, "Oh, how disgusting that I have been tricked into talking to you." Sita then sank to the ground, exhausted from grief. She rebuked Hanuman, saying, "How abominable for you to come to me in a disguise." The next moment, however, Sita considered, "I certainly feel delighted at heart to see this monkey. Perhaps my suspicions are false. Perhaps he really is a messenger from Ram." Thus, composing herself, Sita again addressed Hanuman more favorably. "Please tell me more of Ram. Your descriptions of him are most pleasing to my ears and heart." In truth, Sita was absorbed in intense ecstasy in separation from Ram. Thus, her talks were manifestations of transcendental madness. Like a deranged woman, Sita again began speculating. Maybe this monkey is a ghost. Perhaps I only imagine I see him because I have become mentally unbalanced due to my agony. No, I should not even think like this. Why should I allow myself to become carried away by my disturbed mind? From this speech, it appears that this monkey came here in service of Ram. However, how can I believe that a mere monkey could jump over the ocean to Lanka? It must be Ravana who has come here in disguise. Hanuman could understand Sita's doubts, and to allay her fears, he continued to glorify Ram and reassure her in various ways. Then, to test Hanuman, Sita said, "Please tell me the story of how you met Ram. Also, describe to me in full detail the bodily features of Ram and his brother Lakshmana." Hanuman then said, "O princess of Videha, Rama has eyes that resemble lotus petals. He has broad shoulders and mighty arms, and his neck is shaped like a conch. His eyes are coppery, and his voice deep like the sound of a kettle drum. He is solid in three places: his breast, waist, and fist. He is elevated in three places: his chest, the rim of his navel, and his abdomen. He is reddish in three places: his eyes, his nails and palms, and his soles of his feet. He is deep of voice, his navel is deep, and he walks swiftly. He has 3 folds of skin on his neck and belly. He is small in 4 places: neck, genitals, calf, and back. He walks with 4 different gaits, like a lion, like tiger, like an elephant, and like a bull. 10 places on his body are like lotus: his complexion, mouth, eyes, tongue, lips, palate, breasts, nails, hands, and feet. He is fine in 4 places: his bodily hair, skin, finger joints, and perception. Indeed, he has all these features and many more. The beauty of Lakshmana is also immeasurable. Lakshmana's complexion is golden, whereas Lord Ram's is dark greenish blue. I met the 2 brothers at the Rishyamukha mountain, where Ram saw the jewels you dropped in the midst of the monkeys while being carried away by Ravana. He became overwhelmed with joy and tears fell from his eyes. To establish an alliance of friendship with Sugriva, Ram killed Vali. To repay this favor, Sugriva initiated a great search for you all over the world by dispatching millions of monkeys. Now, by good fortune, I have located you in this remote place. I am the son of the mighty monkey, Kesari. My father originally resided in the Malaya Hills and later moved to the Gokarna mountain. When Sambasadna was oppressing the celestial rishis, Keshari killed the great demon at their request. Thereafter, I was begot by the wind god Vayu through the womb of Kesari's consort. After hearing Hanuman's description of Ram, Sita became convinced that he was indeed a messenger sent by her husband. She began shedding tears of joy. Hanuman then took the opportunity to give Ram's ring to Sita. Recognizing it and seeing the name of her beloved on the inside band, Sita's face blossomed with joy as if she were experiencing the arrival of Ram himself. She said, "O Hanuman, I am eternally indebted to you for this gift. You are so magnanimous to have come here for my sake. Now, please tell me more about Ram." With folded hands, Hanuman replied, "It is only because Ram does not know where you are that he has not come here to rescue you. Without you, Ram does not know a moment's peace of mind. Truly, as soon as I return and inform Ram of your presence here, he will immediately come to kill Ravana." Sita then urged, "You must trust to Ram the urgency of the matter, for after 2 months Ravana will kill me. Ravana's younger half brother Vibhishan has repeatedly pleaded with Ravana to return me to Ram. Likewise, Vibhishana's eldest daughter also told me how a wise old minister named Avindhya forewarned Ravana of the imminent destruction of the Rakshasas at the hands of Ram. But Ravana refuses to listen to this advice. Hanuman suggested, "If you like, I can immediately deliver you to Ram by carrying you to Kishkindya on my back. I'm sure that the Rakshasas could not keep up with me as I fly across the ocean." Sita was thrilled to hear this prospect, but still she replied, "Your proposal seems quite like what a monkey would present. How can someone so small think of carrying me across the ocean?" Hanuman was a little offended by this remark, and so he thought, how little she was saying. Then, to demonstrate his prowess, Hanuman revealed his gigantic form, boasting, "If you like, I can uproot the entire city of Lanka. Then, along with Ravan, I will carry it back to Ram. So please give up your doubts about me." Sita admitted, "You are certainly strong enough to carry me across the ocean. However, I do not think it is a good idea. What if I become faint as you dash across the sky and fall into the shark and crocodile infested water? Moreover, when the Rakshasas rally and attack you, you will be fully engaged in fighting with them. What will happen to me? Even if somehow, even if you somehow manage to kill the Rakshasas, this would only serve to diminish the glory of Ram. O Hanuman, since I am completely devoted to my husband, I do not want to touch the body of anyone else but Ram. When Ravana kidnapped me, I was helpless and I had no choice. However, Ram must now come here himself to rescue me after killing the wicked Ravana. This act alone would be worthy of enhancing his glorious reputation." Hanuman replied, "I appreciate your statements, which are just befitting the chaste and righteous wife of Ram. I will now leave, but first, please give me some token that I can give to Ram to help me convince him that I have actually met you." With, her, with tear filled eyes, Sita replied in a faint voice, "O Hanuman, to convince Ram that you have met me, you may relate to him the following incident. One day, while we were residing at Chitrakoot, after playing in the water, Ram, still dripping wet, sat down on my lap. At that time, a crow came and began pecking at me as though eager to eat my flesh. I picked up a lump of dirt to throw to scare it away, but the determined crow remained on the scene, hiding nearby. Becoming angered, I accidentally pulled the string that held my slip, causing it to fall down. Seeing this, Ram laughed heartily taking advantage of my flustered countenance. In the meantime, the crow returned and again pecked at me. I took shelter of Ram by sitting on his lap, and he comforted me, wiping the tears from my eyes. Feeling exhausted, I soon fell asleep in Ram's arms, and soon he too dozed off. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the crow suddenly swooped down and clawed at my breast. This awakened Ram, who felt drops of my blood falling on him. Seeing the cuts on my breast, Ram became enraged and asked me to identify the culprit. Then, before I could answer, he saw the crow sitting at a distance, his claws dripping with blood. In great anger, Ram took a blade of kusha grass from his mat and surcharged it with the power of a Brahmastra. As the straw burst into flames, Ram hurled it at the crow. Then, as the bird flew up in the sky, the kusha grass weapon followed it. The crow was, however, the son of Indra, and while being chased by the Brahmastra, he tried to obtain shelter all over the universe. But even his father was powerless to help him. Finally, the crow came and surrendered to Ram. Out of compassion, Ram forgave the pale, exhausted bird, but he said, "This Brahmastra cannot be ineffectual, therefore it must be directed somewhere." Saying this, Ram directed the weapon to destroy the crow's right eye. Thereafter, Indra's son departed after offering his obeisances. Sita became overwhelmed with sorrow while relating her pastime with Ram. Then, with tear stained eyes, she said, "O Hanuman, formerly Ram used the Brahmastra against an insignificant crow. Why does he not attack Ravana now? Does Ram no longer have any affection for me? In some former life, I must have committed an abominable sin to cause Ram to disregard me now." Hoping to encourage the despondent Sita, Hanuman reassured her, "Ram is feeling great separation from you and is merged in the ocean of sorrow. Now please give me some object that I can show to Ram." Sita sighed and said, "At least I now have some real hope of being rescued. Somehow you must urge Ram to come quickly, for I must pass another month away from him. I will surely die from grief." Sita produced a bright jewel from her cloth that she formerly used to ornament her head. Giving it to Hanuman, she said, "When Ram sees this jewel, he will remember three persons, since it was given to me by my mother as a dowry gift in the presence of Ram and his father. O Hanuman, please return quickly and urge Ram to quickly terminate my unbearable suffering." Hanuman then circumambulated Sita and was about to depart when, in a voice choked with tears, Sita said, "Please convince Ram to hasten to my rescue." Hanuman replied, "Do not worry. Soon you shall see Ram, Lakshman, and all the heroic monkeys as they come here to slay Ravana and the Rakshasas." Sita pleaded, Please stay for just one more day. By your association, I have gained some small relief from my intolerable miseries." "Oh, why do I even bother to raise my hopes? How will the monkeys be able to cross the vast ocean? I do not think that even Ram and Lakshman have the capacity, but only Garuda, Vayu, or yourself. Hanuman, I know you could rescue me single handed. However, I request that you somehow enable Ram to kill all the Rakshasas and save me, for that will eternally enhance his glorious reputation." Hanuman replied, "All the monkeys in Sugriva's army are equal or superior to me. Surely they will easily reach Lanka. It is only inferior persons like myself that are sent on errands. Please give up all your doubts for good. If need be, I will cross the ocean carrying Ram and Lakshman on my back." Sita then replied, "O Hanuman, I again urge you to see that my rescue is hastened. I do not know how much longer I shall be able to survive under these conditions. I will give you one more message for Ram. Remind him of the time he painted my cheeks with red mineral to replace the decorations that had worn off." As Hanuman prepared to depart, Sita repeatedly implored him to hasten her rescue. Hanuman then considered, "My mission would not be complete without ascertaining the true strength of the Rakshasas. Therefore, I shall destroy this Ashoka grove and grow the pleasure garden of Ravana just to provoke his anger. When the king of the Rakshasas sends his army to attack me, I will destroy it and then return to Ram. Thereafter, Hanuman started knocking down and uprooting Ashoka trees. He stirred up the ponds and crushed the hilltops. Then, after practically destroying the entire garden, he made his stand at the entrance. Upon hearing the frightened screams of the birds and animals, along with other sounds created by Hanuman's rampage, the Rakshasi guards awoke with a start. Seeing Hanuman's huge form standing at the garden entrance, their hearts filled with terror. The Rakshasi surrounded Sita and asked, "Who is this creature? What were you and he conversing about?" Sita denied knowing who Hanuman was, saying, "He must be a ferocious Rakshasa. Since you are all Rakshasas, it is you that should know him, not I. I too am terrified by his huge, frightening appearance." While some of the Rakshasis remained guarding Sita, and others went and reported the matter to Ravana. Reverently bowing down to their king, the Rakshasi said, "A huge, powerful monkey has come here. After talking to Sita, he devastated the entire Ashoka grove except for the small area where Sita stays. When when we asked Sita about him, however, she claimed not to know him. Ravana immediately became enraged and dispatched 80,000 fierce Rakshasas to go and capture Hanuman. When the army came before him, brandishing their weapons, Hanuman further expanded his form and began lashing his tail violently, making a sound so loud that it reverberated throughout Lanka. Hanuman then challenged, "I am the servant of Ram. If I like, I can kill 1,000 Ravanas." As Hanuman rode menacingly, the Rakshasas were struck with fear. Regardless, they began attacking him from all sides. Hanuman grabbed an iron bar lying at the gate, and while flying through the air, he slaughtered the whole Rakshasa army. The few survivors hurried back to Ravana to inform him of the massacre. Upon hearing the news, Ravana's eyes rolled with rage. He then ordered the extremely powerful son of Prahasta named Jambumali to go and fight Hanuman. Meanwhile, Hanuman began to destroy the immense temple of the Rakshasas' guardian deity located in the Ashoka grove. As he climbed up the edifice, which was as big as a large hill, Hanuman tore it to pieces with his claws, making crashing sounds that reverberated throughout Lanka. Hanuman then shouted, "May there be victory for Ram and Lakshman. My name is Hanuman, and I will now destroy Lanka within the sight of the Rakshasas." Although the sound of Hanuman's voice struck terror into their hearts, the 100 guards of the sanctuary took up their weapons and surrounded him. The enraged Hanuman then broke off one of the temple columns and assuming a terrible aspect, he whirled the column around so that fire was generated as it struck the other pillars. Just as Hanuman destroyed the guards with the blazing pillar, the entire edifice became engulfed in flames. Again and again, Hanuman shouted, "Let there be victory for Ram, Lakshman, and the monkeys." Jambumari then arrived on the scene, riding upon a chariot drawn by donkeys, while the twanging of his bow filled the entire sky with his awesome vibration. Without wasting time, Jambumali struck Hanuman in the mouth with one arrow and his arms with 10 more. As blood covered his entire face, the infuriated Hanuman grabbed a huge rock and hurled it at Jambumali with great force. Jambumali, however, broke it into pieces with 10 arrows. Hanuman then uprooted a large tree and began to whirl it around. Jambumali easily broke the tree into pieces with 4 arrows, even before it left Hanuman's hands. The Rakshasa then pierced Hanuman's arms with 5 arrows and his chest with 10 more shafts and a dart. Hanuman remained undaunted. The great monkey warrior then picked up an iron bar and twirled it forcefully, smashing it against Jambumali's chest. The iron bar hit the Rakshasa so violently that his head, legs, chariot and donkeys could no longer be distinguished from one another. Hearing of Jambuvali's death, Ravana became further enraged and commanded the seven sons of his chief minister to attack Hanuman with large army. Thereafter, when the Rakshasas approached the Ashoka Grove upon their chariots, they saw Hanuman stationed at the garden's arched gate. The Rakshasas immediately began showering their arrows so heavily that Hanuman was momentarily obscured from view. Hanuman, however, leaped into the sky, thus avoiding their onslaught. Then he charged, roaring loudly. Within moments, Hanuman struck down innumerable Rakshasas with his hands and feet, while he tore others to pieces with his nails. Others were crushed by the impact of Hanuman's chest and thighs, while still others simply fell to the ground, stunned with fear from Hanuman's roar. When all seven of the chief minister's sons were slain, the remaining warriors panicked and fled. Hanuman returned to the archway, awaiting further combat. Ravana then sent five of his leading generals along with a large army, saying, I want you I want you to capture this Hanuman, for he could not be a mere monkey. He must be a super powerful being. Thereafter, the Rakshasa army assailed Hanuman from all sides. The general named Durdhara released five arrows and hit Hanuman in the forehead. This merely infuriated Hanuman, who swelled immensely in size. Then, leaping into the sky, he fell upon Durdhara's chariot like lightning striking a mountain. From the impact of Hanuman's gigantic body, the chariot was smashed into pieces, and Durdara and other heroes' horses were crushed to death. Enraged at the destruction of their comrade, two other generals named Virupaksha and Yupaksha suddenly sprang into the air and struck Hanuman's chest with their clubs. Undaunted, Hanuman swooped down to the ground, uprooted a tall tree, and struck the two generals dead. The two remaining generals, Praghasha and Bhaskarna, then came before Hanuman and pierced him with a spear and dart, causing his body to become covered with blood. The enraged Hanuman then quickly tore off a mountain peak with all its animals and trees and pounded the two Rakshasas into mere pulp. With five generals out of the way, Hanuman effortlessly destroyed the rest of the army. Hanuman killed the horses by wielding other dead horses and crushed elephants with other elephants. He struck dead the soldiers with other slain warriors and smashed chariots by wielding other broken chariots. After covering the ground with many mutilated dead bodies, Hanuman once more stationed himself at the archway. Upon hearing of this massacre, Ravana simply glanced at his son, Aksha, who was seated close by. Desirous of battle, the prince, understanding his father's indication, eagerly leapt from his seat in the assembly. He then mounted his mystical chariot, which could travel through the air and was drawn by 8 horses. As he approached the Ashoka grove, Aksha began showering all his arrows on Hanuman. As he came close, as he came close quarters, a fierce duel ensued, which made the earth begin to quake, the sun become dim, and the wind ceased to blow. When Aksha managed to pierce Hanuman's head with 3 arrows, Hanuman began to expand his body while the Rakshasa warrior continued to shower arrows on him. The young Aksha was childishly proud of his strength and came fearlessly before Hanuman like an elephant approaching a well covered by grass. After being struck by Aksha's arrows, Hanuman assumed an awesome feature and sprang into the air. Aksha closely followed him while constantly releasing his arrows. However, Hanuman successfully dodged them while coursing through the sky. When an arrow suddenly pierced his chest, Hanuman mentally praised the skill of his enemy, thinking, although a young boy, this Rakshasa is fighting very heroically, and I really do not wish to kill him. However, as the battle progresses, his prowess only increases. If I do not kill him, I may become defeated. Therefore, it behooves me to kill him immediately, just as a spreading fire should be extinguished at once. Increasing his speed, Hanuman killed all of Aksha's horses with a slap of his hand, causing the disabled chariot to fall into the ground, smashed to pieces. Jumped from the ruined chariot and ascended into the sky like a rishi on his way to heaven. Agile Hanuman, however, caught Aksha by his legs. Then, spinning him around thousands of times, he dashed the son of Ravana violently to the ground. With all his limbs broken and his chest crushed, Aksha gave up his life like while vomiting blood. Having witnessed Hanuman's victory, the rishis stationed in the sky gazed upon him with wonder, while Ravana's heart filled with terror. As Hanuman again stationed himself at the archway, awaiting the next onslaught of Rakshasas, the infuriated Ravana checked his anger and summoned Indrajit, his eldest son. Ravana said to him, "In warfare you are unparalleled and equal only to me. You have conquered the king of heaven along with all the demigods and have received weapons from Lord Brahma himself. Now go and do whatever is necessary to subdue this mysterious enemy." Hanuman felt great joy when he heard the twang of Indrajit's bow as Rakshasa came before him riding his chariot. As Indrajit showered his arrows, Hanuman roared loudly and expanded himself, then rose up to the sky to avoid the onslaught. In the fighting that ensued, Indrajit could not find any opportunity to pierce Hanuman with his arrows, nor could Hanuman strike Indrajit. Upon seeing the futility of his weapons, Indrajit considered Hanuman incapable of being killed. He began to think of how to capture him instead. Then Indrajit employed a special Brahmastra that immediately bound up Hanuman, making him fall to the ground, practically bereft of consciousness. Hanuman could understand that he was being bound up by the power of Lord Brahma in the form of a weapon. At the same time, he could remember receiving a benediction from Lord Brahma that such a weapon would lose its effectiveness after a short while. Therefore, Hanuman thought, "I cannot free myself just now, but still I have nothing to fear. Rather than considering this a setback, I should take it as a good opportunity to see Ravana firsthand. Even though I have been taken captive, I am certain that from the benediction of Lord Brahma, I will soon free myself." Some of the Rakshasa warriors then came and tied Hanuman with strong ropes. As they bound him, they abused him with harsh words. However, as soon as Hanuman was tied up by their ropes, the effects of the Brahmastra became nullified because that weapon's power could not be used in conjunction with another means of bondage. In this case, the soldiers' attempts to tie Hanuman with ropes. However, Hanuman allowed himself to be tied up by the Rakshasas, pretending to feel pain so he could get a chance to meet Ravana. Indrajit could understand that Hanuman was feigning bondage, being freed from the effects of Brahmastra. Thus he thought, the capture of Hanuman has been rendered useless by these thoughtless Rakshasas. Moreover, now that the Brahmastra has been nullified, it cannot be evoked again against the same adversary. While Indrajit pondered over his predicament, the Rakshasas dragged Hanuman into the presence of Ravan, while excitedly saying among themselves, "Who is this monkey like creature? We should kill him at once, eat him up, let's roast him." Hanuman was face to face with Ravan. Ravana ordered his ministers to interrogate Hanuman. In reply to their question, Hanuman said, "I am a messenger from Sugriva, the king of the monkeys, who sends you his best wishes. The noble minded Sugriva hopes that you are conducting yourself according to the principles of religion and that your kingdom is therefore prospering." Inwardly, Hanuman was enraged at being captured, and at the thought of how Ravana had kidnapped Sita further inflamed his anger. However, as he gazed upon the king of the Rakshasas seated upon his crystal throne, Hanuman thought, with Ravana's charm, presence of mind, courage, splendor, and auspicious bodily symptoms, he would have surpassed even Indra in glory. He had not become adverse to righteousness. Had he not become adverse to righteousness? Likewise, Ravana was enraged. yet felt apprehensive while looking at Hanuman. Ravana wondered, is this Nandi, the bull carrier of Lord Shiva, who previously cursed me when I mocked him? Or is this Bana, the king of the Asuras, disguised as a monkey? Prahasta, the foremost of Ravana's ministers, then assured Hanuman, if you simply tell us the real reason why you have come here, we will let you go free. Hanuman replied, as a curious monkey, I have simply come here with the desire of meeting Ravana. I knew that an insignificant person like me would have a difficult time gaining the king's audience. Therefore, I destroyed the pleasure garden with the hope that I would be captured and brought to the royal assembly. I didn't intend to harm anyone, but when the Rakshasa warriors attacked me, I was forced to kill them in self defense. Long ago, I received a benediction from Lord Brahma that I could not be bound by any weapon or ropes. Thus, you should know that I have purposefully allowed myself to be captured. The power of Indrajit's Brahmastra has already been nullified. Now, please listen as I disclose the real reason for my coming here. My name is Hanuman, and I have been sent as an envoy of Lord Ram, the son of Maharaj Dasharath. For a long time, I have been searching for Ram's abducted wife Sita, and it was my good fortune to find her here. O king of the Rakshasas, please know for certain that no one is immune to the arrows of Ram and Lakshman. Not even the self born Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Indra dare to face Ram on the battlefield. O Ravana, you are the knower of religious principles. One who is actually wise would never court disaster by giving up the path of virtue. Please take my advice and give Sita back to Ram before it is too late. Previously, you gained immunity from death in the hands of the demigods and demons by virtue of your severe austerities. Likewise, you should now realize that your unrighteous act of abducting Sita will bring about disaster for you. Even I could annihilate all of Lanka, or to speak of Ram, who can dissolve and recreate the entire cosmic manifestation. Hanuman's speech simply made Ravan more furious. As his reddish eyes rolled in anger, he screamed, kill this monkey at once. However, in the gentle voice, Vibhishan advised, my dear elder brother, it is not proper to put messengers to death. You are certainly a great scholar. However, all your knowledge will be void if you become swayed by uncontrolled anger. Ravana, however, did not appreciate this unwanted advice. He angrily replied, there is no sin incurred for killing an evildoer. Let Hanuman die. Vibhishan then argued, in the scriptures, there is no injunction that a messenger can be killed. Indeed, it is unheard of. The only punishments that can be administered are mutilation of the limbs, flogging, shaving of the head, and branding. My dear Ravana, great heroes like yourself never fall prey to the influence of uncontrolled anger. I suggest that you try to kill the enemy I suggest that you try to kill the enemy who sent Hanuman and not Hanuman himself. Why don't you send your army to fight with Ram and Lakshman? For it is they who seek revenge. By the influence of his pious brother, Ravana finally relented, saying, monkeys always prize their tails very highly. Therefore, set fire to his tail and parade Hanuman throughout the streets of Lanka. Then the people can see what kind of hero he is. Afterwards, he can be released to return to his relatives with a burnt tail and suffer great humiliation. Being so commanded, the Rakshasas then wrapped cotton rags around Hanuman's tail and soaked the cloth in oil. As the rags were set ablaze, Hanuman expanded himself in a fit of rage and began beating the Rakshasas by lashing his tail about. The Rakshasas, however, took hold of Hanuman and tied him more tightly. Indeed, Hanuman allowed this, for he wanted to take a tour of Lanka to better inspect its fortifications. The Rakshasas rudely dragged Hanuman through the city streets, announcing to the people that they had captured a spy. As all the women, children, and elderly curiously came out to see the prisoner, the Rakshasi guards informed Sita of Hanuman's plight. Hearing this, Sita became greatly distressed and meditated upon Agni, praying, "If I have earned any pious credit by my devotion and austerities, then let them be utilized so that the fire feels cool to Hanuman." Just then, the sacrificial fire maintained by Sita began to burn mildly. Thereafter, the fire on Hanuman's tail burned coolly as Vayu blew ice winds. Hanuman wondered, "Why am I not being burnt, although the flames are blazing brightly? Indeed, it feels as if the Rakshasas have wrapped ice around my tail. Surely this is due to the mercy of either Ram or Sita." Then Hanuman considered, "It is not befitting a great warrior and servant of Lord Ram to be bound up and made a laughing stock by these Rakshasas. I have had enough of this humiliation." In the twinkling of an eye, Hanuman slipped from his bonds and suddenly shrinking in size. Then, jumping into the air with a shout, Hanuman instantly assumed his gigantic form and picked up an iron bar lying at the city gates. In a moment, Hanuman killed the guards and then considered, "What else can I do to torment Ravana and the Rakshasas before returning to Ram? Since my tail is ablaze, why not use it to engulf Lanka in a great conflagration?" His mind made up, Hanuman jumped into the roof of the Prime Minister's palace, setting it afire. Then, jumping from the rooftop to rooftop, he ignited a great fire that spread all over Lanka, avoiding only the palace of the pious Vibhishan. Hanuman also went within many palaces, including Ravana's. Because of its raging because of the raging wind, the fire soon blazed out of control, causing the upper stories of the palaces to crumble and crash to the ground. The intense heat melted the gold and silver, which then mixed with pearls and other jewels and flowed out of the streets like lava. A great uproar was then heard among the Rakshasas as they tried to save themselves and their possessions. Anguished cries and loud wails reached a pitiful climax as multitudes of Rakshasas, horses, and elephants were burnt. Igniting the fat from the burning bodies, the fire became blazing higher and higher, so much so that it appeared that the time of universal destruction had come. In a state of panic, the inhabitants of Lanka exclaimed, "Is it Agni himself ravaging our city in the form of a monkey? Or is it Indra, Brahma, time personified, or the unlimited energy of Lord Vishnu coming here to destroy all of us?" After going around the entire city, Hanuman paused to gaze upon the fire, feeling great satisfaction. Then Hanuman went to the ocean and extinguished the fire on his tail and contemplated his return to Ram. As he again turned to witness the fire consuming Lanka, Hanuman suddenly became filled with a terrible apprehension as he heard the screams of the dying Rakshasas. "What a fool I have been to set a fire to Lanka," Hanuman thought. "What if Sita also has been burnt? Just as a result of uncontrolled anger, just see the result of uncontrolled anger. It is the most sinful trait of a living entity, for it causes him to act indiscriminately. Indeed, what is there that an enraged man will do or say? A person under the sway of anger can murder his own guru or parents and insult the great souls. Only one who has learned to control his anger deserves to be called a human being. If I have caused the death of Sita, then I have killed my master as well, and shall have to give up my life as atonement. To hell with this foolish nature of the monkeys, which produces actions born of passion and anger. Passionate acts always give uncertain results. In this case, I may have brought up a mass destruction. If Sita has died, Ram and Lakshman will no longer be able to live. Then, one after another, Bharat, Shatrughna, Sugriva, and many others will give up their lives. Without the shelter of these exalted persons, all other living entities will gradually become disinterested in life. Thus, it may be that I have unwittingly become the cause of the destruction of the entire world. As Hanuman lamented this way, he suddenly observed several auspicious omens and concluded that the virtuous Sita could not have been harmed. Indeed, by the mercy of Ram, even I was not burnt by the fire, what to speak of his beloved consort. The purity of her character alone is sufficient to protect her. The strength of her austerities, her devotion to truth, and her dedication to Lord Ram are more powerful than fire itself. All along, the Siddhas, Charanas, and other celestial beings had been praising Hanuman for his heroic exploits. Now, to reassure Hanuman, they informed him that Sita was safe. Overjoyed and relieved, Hanuman rushed to where Sita was staying. Upon seeing her, he shed tears of happiness. Sita again pleaded, "Dear Hanuman, please remain here for just one day. I gain great relief from my burning grief by your association. Indeed, your return is uncertain, as is my survival because of my intense unhappiness. I don't see how Ram, Lakshman, and the monkeys will ever be able to cross the ocean. Regardless, you must urge him to come quickly and rescue me, for I do not feel I can remain alive under these circumstances." Hanuman tried to comfort Sita, and he assured her of Rama's ability to rescue her. Having made up his mind to depart, Hanuman ascended the Ashrita mountain. In his eagerness to see Ram after completing his mission, Hanuman began crushing the peaks of the mountain with his feet. Then, as Hanuman expanded his size, the mountain began to crumble. The Gandharvas and animals residing there began fleeing in fear. Indeed, as Hanuman took up his mighty leap, the 30 yojana high mountain sank down until it was level with the earth. Sailing through the sky, Hanuman again touched Mainaka mountain in a gesture of respect. Finally, as he approached the Mahindra mountain, Hanuman began roaring jubilantly while waving his tail anxiously to meet his monkey friends. When they heard Hanuman's roar, the monkeys waiting on the shore became eager to catch a glimpse of their hero. Jambavan told the others, "Judging from his exuberance, Hanuman has been successful in his mission." The monkeys began excitedly springing from tree to tree, mountain peak to mountain peak, waving their claws. As Hanuman finally came to view, they stood up with folded hands to watch him descend upon Mahendra mountain. The monkeys gathered around Hanuman, shouting with delight, and presented him with fruits and roots. Hanuman first offered his respects to the elders, including Jambavan, and then to Prince Angada. He answered their eager inquiries and informed them that he had found Sita. Hearing that Sita was alive, the monkeys became overjoyed and embraced Hanuman again and again. Thereafter, Angada praised Hanuman for his great heroism and devotion to Lord Ram and sat down with Hanuman to talk. Jambavan then approached and requested Hanuman to narrate the entire story of his jump to Lanka and subsequent discovery of Sita. As our monkeys eagerly crowded around, Hanuman mentally offered his respects to Sita and related the details of his journey to Lanka, how he found Sita, and his desecration of the city. He concluded by saying, "Because of her constantly being tormented by fierce Rakshasis, the gentle Sita suffers unbearable anguish. Although Ravana offers her everything in his possession, Sita scorns him, for she knows no one but Ram as her Lord. Although constant absorption in Ram keeps her alive, Sita was certainly Sita will certainly wither away and die if she is not rescued soon. So let us attack Lanka at once and bring Sita back to Ram at Kishkindya. I know that I am able to defeat all the Rakshasas single handed, as is Angada. Think of how pleased Rama would be if we not only found Sita but rescued her too. Indeed, I could easily have brought Sita back here with me, but because I did not have your permission, I restrained myself." Angada then said, "Once, out of respect for the Ashwini Kumaras, Lord Brahma blessed their sons, Mainda and Vivida, that they would be incapable of being slain in battle. Because of this, these proud monkeys were able to defeat the entire army of the demigods and forcibly drank their nectar. I think they could easily conquer Ravan. Indeed, since they are here with us, I agree that we should attack Lanka and return to Ram only after rescuing Sita. Jambavan said, O prince, your plan lacks wisdom. You have forgot that we were only ordered to find Sita and not to fight for her recovery. Even if we were successful, I think that Ram would be displeased, for he would for he vowed before all the monkeys that he would kill Ravan and win back Sita. Angada, Hanuman, and other monkeys accepted Jambavan's advice. Without further delay, they departed for Kishkindhya. Along the way, the monkeys came to Madhuvan, a heavenly forest owned by Sugriva. Being eager to drink honey, they requested Angada to stop for a while. In that forest, the monkeys began to partake of the roots, fruits, and honey to their full satisfaction. Within a short time, they all became intoxicated. By laughing, dancing, and singing, they sported in the most boisterous manner, turning the nice garden into shambles. At this, the superintendent of the grove, named Dadimuka, became very angry. When he came and told the monkeys to stop, they insulted him with harsh words. Then, trying to save the garden, Dadimuka began chastising some of the monkeys, pacifying others, and even striking some with his hands. Unfortunately, this infuriated the intoxicated monkeys. They jumped on Dadimuka and began kicking, biting, and scratching him. Indeed, Hanuman encouraged the monkeys, saying, Enjoy yourselves as you please. I will check anyone who tries to stop you. Angada echoed this sentiment, and thus the monkeys fearlessly trashed the guards and stripped the garden of all its edibles. Even Dadimuka was set free, and the monkeys continued their drunken activities. Some of the monkeys lay down lazily, while others became insulting and boisterous. All the guards then approached Dadimuka, submitting their complaints about the monkeys' behavior. The superintendent assured them he would put a stop to their rampage. Dadimuka uprooted a huge tree, and the guards followed him by picking up huge boulders. As the guards approached, Hanuman and other monkeys prepared to encounter them. Under the influence of intoxication, Angada grabbed Dadimuka, who happened to be his granduncle, and after throwing him to the ground, began beating him mercilessly. Finally, when Dadimuka was let go, he took the guards with him to meet Sugriva, thinking the king would surely kill the monkeys for their misconduct. When Dadimuka thus arrived at Kishkindhya and touched Sugriva's feet with his head, the king could see that he was highly agitated. Dadimuka then described the misbehavior of Angada and his followers. At this time, Ram and Lakshman came to see what was the matter, and Sugriva explained. Angada and his party are now at Madhuvan. From the description of their raucous behavior, it appears they have been successful in their mission. I am sure that Hanuman has found Sita, otherwise, the monkeys would never dare act with such abandon. Hearing this, Ram and Lakshman became enlivened. Likewise, Sugriva was overjoyed and told Adimuka, Indirectly, your complaint conveys good news to me. Therefore, the mischief by the monkeys should be tolerated. Please return now to Madhuvan and tell Angada that the others and I want to see them immediately. Taking this order upon his head, Adimuka sprang into the air. When he arrived at Madhuvan, he saw the monkeys had become sober and were passing the honey from their bottles as and were passing the honey from their bodies as urine. Dadimuka then approached Angada with sweet words, saying, Please forgive me for trying to forbid you and your followers from enjoying the gardens. O prince, your uncle was exceedingly pleased to learn of your arrival and wants to return to Kishkindhya at once. Turning to his followers, Angada said, I suggest we return to Kishkindhya without delay. Still, even though I am the prince, I do not consider myself superior to any of you. On the contrary, I feel completely dependent on all of you. I shall do whatever you recommend. I await your order. Fully satisfied by his statement, the monkeys replied, O prince, Your humility is just befitting an exalted personality. It indicates your eligibility to receive further good fortune. Let us not waste another moment, for Sugriva and Ram await your arrival. Thereafter, all the monkeys leap towards Kishkindia like so many stones shot from the catapult. Seeing the monkeys approach in the distance, Sugriva went to the grief-stricken Ram, saying, "Angada has come. I knew he would not dare return to Kishkindia without achieving success. And unless he had located Sita, he would never devastate the Madhuvan garden given to my father Riksharaj by my grandfather Lord Brahma if he had failed in this mission." Before long, Angada's party arrived back in the presence of Ram. Hanuman excitedly declared, "Sita is safe. She has remained fixed in her vows of chastity, never once accepting Ravana's advances." Ram looked upon Hanuman with eyes laden with love and respect. All the monkeys offered their obeisances to Ram and Lakshman. Sugriva, Ram, and Lakshman. Unable to contain themselves, they each repeated everything Hanuman had told them about Sita. When the monkeys finally fell silent, Ram said, "Describe to me the exact location of Ravana's abode and tell me more of Sita. How does she really feel about me now?" All the monkeys then pushed Hanuman forward so he could give the authoritative answer. Bowing to the south, Hanuman related the events leading to his discovery of Sita. Then he delivered to Ram the jewel from Sita's head and said, "The devotion of King Janaka's daughter is completely fixed upon you. In separation from you, she can hardly maintain her life." Hanuman then related Sita's messages, how Indra's son in the form of a crow had scratched her breast, how Ram had decorated her face with red oxide, and how, due to being tortured by the Rakshasis, she would surely give up her life if he did not come to rescue her within 1 month. As she listened to Hanuman, Ram pressed Sita's jewel to his heart, and both he and Lakshman shed incessant tears. Ram said, "This jewel was presented to Sita by her father at the time of our marriage. Long ago, King Indra gave the jewel to Maharaj Janaka after becoming pleased with the king's sacrificial performances. O Hanuman, I have become practically unconscious from the intense grief. Therefore, please repeat the messages given by Sita, for the act just like cool water sprinkled upon my head." In reply, Hanuman narrated, "After Sita finished telling me the story of how you chastised Indra's son Jayanta, she said, although Ram is unlimitedly powerful and unconquerable, he does not come here to rescue me. I can only conclude that this misfortune is a result of some terrible sin I committed in the past life." Hanuman continued, "I offered to carry Sita back to you, but she refused, for she was unwilling to touch another male. Again and again she said, 'You must convince Ram to come here quickly to rescue me. My grief is practically unbearable, and I do not know how much longer I can go on living. O Hanuman, how will Ram, Lakshman, and the monkeys ever be able to cross the ocean of Lanka? I know you are able to kill Ravana. I know you were able to kill Ravana and deliver me to Ram. However, it is my desire that Ram himself come here to rescue me, so his spotless reputation will be further enhanced. I do not wish to be returned to Ram the way I was brought to Lanka, carried by another." Hanuman concluded, "I assured Sita that the other monkeys were superior to me and could easily jump over the ocean to Lanka. I also told her that if necessary, I could carry you and Lakshman on my back. In this way, I pacified Sita a little. However, considering her precarious condition, I urge you to quickly devise some means whereby we can all attack Lanka without further delay."
Thank you so much,
Thus ends the
for
Sundara
the wonderful.
Kanda.
Thank you so much, Malinataji, for the wonderful reading, bringing the Khan to a conclusion. And inspired by the reading and inspired by what we have been doing for all these days, Radha Venkat Prabhu from Folsom, he sent me a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, which I'm just going to quickly read. it says that the devotees of the Lord constantly discuss the glories of the personality of Godhead among themselves. Thus, they constantly remember the Lord and remind one another of his qualities and pastimes. In this way, by their devotion to the principles of Bhakti Yoga, the devotees please the personality of Godhead, who takes away from them everything inauspicious. Being purified of all impediments, the devotees awaken to pure love of Godhead. And thus, even within this world, their spiritualized bodies exhibit symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, such as standing of the bodily hairs on end. So, after that, what more do I have to say? Thank you so much, Malini Mataji, for reading this, Gandharika Mataji for organizing this, and all of you who are watching it on Zoom as well as on YouTube and the Facebook websites. Thank you so much. And I'm going to unmute everybody now so that all the watchers can also express their gratitude for the wonderful reading that we had. So
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Shraddha Mataji and Gandharika Mataji.
it's all Gandharika Mataji.
Thanks for reading, Malini. Wonderful reading, especially the background. I think Shraddha Mataji set up, it was all green.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sounded like, yeah, Nami Sharanya, you show some Dandakaranya, reading it from there.
Ashoka Grove.
Ashoka Grove, that's right.
It needs a lot of patience
It does.
for
Yeah.
1.5 hours.
That is true. Yeah, patience and stamina both.
Thank you, Mataji. It was a long run today. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for reading.
So much.
I'm sharing whole Ramayana. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Vanchakalpatubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Om Guru Vaishnava ki jai.
All right. Thank you so much, Mataji, once again, and all the devotees. With your permission, I will bring this Zoom to a conclusion and we will read again, depending on what Gandharika Mataji tells us. So we are waiting for the surprise now. Hare Krishna and have a wonderful rest of the day.